Hi guys, here I have an interesting problem which says which is larger, 3 to the power of pi or pi to the power of 3. So what do you think is the right answer? How can we solve this? See here, pi is irrational, right? And 3 is an integer. So what do you think? How can we solve this? We can solve this by taking natural log on both sides. So let's take natural log on both sides. What will it be? So here it will be natural log of 3 to the power of pi, and here it will be natural log of pi to the power of 3, pi cube. Yeah. Now if you know the formula natural log of a to the power of b, it's like that. I'm gonna just write it down here. Natural log of a to the power of b, alright, is equal to b natural log of a. So we know this formula, we're gonna apply it here. Okay, so here what do we have? Pi natural log of 3, and here what do we have? 3 natural log of pi, right? Okay, next thing, we're gonna divide both sides by 3 pi. So if we divide here with 3 pi, we're gonna get in the next step natural log of 3 over, as we have divided by 3 pi, pi gets cancelled, we're left with 3, and here natural log of pi, 3 gets cancelled and we're left with pi. Is that right? Okay, now we're going to construct a function. Okay, so let f of x is equal to natural log of x over x, okay, where x is positive, alright, and we know that 3 is less than pi. Okay, so we want to compare functions f of 3 and f of pi. So just write down f of 3 and f of pi. The only way is to differentiate this function. If we want to compare these two functions, the only way is to differentiate this function. Okay, so if we differentiate that function, what will we get? So I'm gonna write that down. F prime of x, or f dash of x, whatever you say. Now here, the derivative of this numerator over denominator. How do you solve that? So first, what will be your new numerator? So the new numerator will be the derivative of your numerator times the denominator. Is that right? So the derivative of your numerator is 1 over x times the denominator, that is x. 1 over x times x is 1. So I'm going to write that down, 1 minus, now the derivative of your denominator, right? So you have this, that's natural log of x times the derivative of your denominator. So you already have natural log of x times 1, so that is natural log of x. Alright, and then your denominator is squared, that's x squared. Okay, and as you know that your x is positive, so your x square is gonna be positive, right? That's your new denominator. Now before we compare 3 and pi, we want to know if this function is increasing, decreasing, or is it constant, right? If the derivative is positive, negative, or equal to 0. So look at the numerator here. Because the denominator is greater than 0, here you need to look at the numerator. Okay, we already know that denominator is greater than 0. So let's look at the numerator. So you'll have three conditions, three cases. So the first case, let's write the three cases. What will be those? The first case, the second case, and the third case, because we need to find only the numerator if it is greater than 0, less than 0, or equal to 0. So the first condition will be 1 minus natural log of x is greater than 0. That means your f prime derivative of x is greater than 0. So your function is increasing, right? Now when you solve for x, see here, your natural log of x is less than 1. So your x will be less than e, right? And e is equal to 2.71828 and so on, right? That's irrational. Okay, so we got x is less than e here. Now the next condition is 1 minus natural log of x is equal to 0. So what will be your derivative of x? It will be equal to 0, right? So the rational function will have extreme values. We don't know if it is maximum value or minimum value, but it will have extreme value. So your x is equal to e here. Okay, the first condition, the second condition, and the third condition is 1 minus natural log of x is less than 0. So your derivative of x is less than 0. So your function is decreasing here, right? So your x will be greater than e here. Okay. So can we graph this? 1 second, let's go up. Okay, now if we want to graph this, it will look like this. Right? Okay, so x is equal to e is this point where your derivative is 0 and its local maximum value. Perfect. Since 3 and pi, here we've got, since 3 and pi both are greater than e. Okay, so I'm going to write that down. Both are greater than e. So here we have 2 points. 2 points. Okay, if x is greater than e, this function here is decreasing, right? So then we can say that x1 is less than x2, then f of x1 is greater than f of x2, right? That means the greater the x, the smaller the value of f of x. So 3 is less than pi, but both are greater than e, right? So here we can say, so they are in a decreasing interval. We can say that they are the function, they are in a decreasing interval. So f of 3 is greater than f of pi. So from here we can say that natural log of 3 over 3, natural log of pi over pi, this is greater than this. And so we can say that pi natural log of 3 is greater than this. So we can say natural log of 3 over pi is greater than natural log of pi cube. And similarly, we can say that, okay, not able to remove that. So 3 over pi is greater than pi cube. So which one is larger? 3 over pi is larger than pi cube. That's your answer. Hope this was a good session. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Bye bye. Take care.